Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, and the sexiest man alive is, drumroll please, Paul Rudd. Yup, Ant-Man. Then, pillow fights and an interesting trip to a hot tub. Just another wacky week on The Bachelorette. And he is the man who transformed the local theater scene and met every famous person in the process. And now he's spilling the tea in a new book and joining us live with a preview. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Vancouver. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Hudson, Wisconsin. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please, I don't know. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and Sally's Salamander Shack Employee of the Month, Kendall Mark.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
I feel like you would talk really slow if you were at the Salamander Shack.
Why?
I don't know.
I had a salamander when I was a kid.
You did?
I did. I lived in Indiana, and we had a creek. That's what we called creeks in Indiana, creeks. And I caught one.
Yeah.
And it was little black one with little orange spots on it.
Did it die?
Well, eventually. I'm 46 or 47 or how old am I? Let's bring it out. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Leo. Welcome my salamander, everybody, from 1983.
It's so cute.
Did it die? No, it's Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, it's you know.
Never know.
No, it eventually did die, Kendall.
Well, elephants are really old.
I didn't own an elephant. I owned a salamander. I love you. How you doing?
Things are starting off really well today.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Can I tell you, and maybe you have something that tickles you for no apparent reason in your workplace. Maybe it's the receptionist who asks inappropriate questions. Maybe it's the coffee machine that is really gross and dirty and hasn't been fixed in like 100 years.
Are you talking about ours?
No, I'm just talking in general. You know, there's a wacky thing in your workplace that makes you giggle. For me here at the Fox 9 studios, it is a monitor wall in our newsroom. Now, we can't take a shot of it because I don't think we have a newsroom cam, but on a wall in our newsroom, there's supposed to be 6 monitors. Is this 6, Jeff? 6? 6 monitors. And we have been working on this monitor wall since the 4th of July. And it's never, and I walk in every day and I don't want it fixed because now it just brings me joy that it's just like one day, like one monitor went up and then some cables were connected and then 2 monitors were put up, but they were not even.
Yeah.
So then they had to fix, and then the uneven monitors, the 2 were up there for about a month. And then 3 got on, and then they evened them out.
Yeah.
And now I just went out right before the show, and they're finishing up the monitor wall. I don't want this. No, because every day when I walk in, I look forward to seeing
the progress.
Or lack thereof. And now Brad, engineer Brad, who's usually doing woodworking behind us while the show's on, he's finishing the monitor wall. I'm bummed. I like the imperfection. I like the fact that there's, because you know, if you watched Murphy Brown, remember how Murphy Brown's apartment was never painted? You know, the painter was there for all 7 seasons or however long of the show. That's what the monitor wall was for me. I didn't want it finished, and now it's done.
We'll have to do a tour so it lives on our phone.
Are we working on a shot of the monitor wall? Oh, Leo, if you do this, I'm going to nominate you for Director of the Year if we can get a shot of live shot of engineer Brad working on the monitor wall in our Fox newsroom. Do you know what I'm talking? You've seen it, haven't you?
I know the monitor wall. I see Brad just looking at it often.
Yeah, and I snuck out there. They don't think that I'm ever going to leave the studio, and I went out there to get a mint. And I went out there, and Brad goes, "Why are you out here? I wanted to finish it and surprise you." So they wanted to get it done before the show, but now the surprise is ruined. We have it? There he is right there! Oh, fantastic! There's the monitor wall. Okay, now
There's Brad.
they're color testing the monitor wall.
Is that Ricky?
I don't know, but there's Brad. Ladies and gentlemen, the ponytailed gentleman, that is Brad the engineer. And it looks like, what is he doing? Is he ripping them back down?
I don't know.
So it looks like, Kendall, am I right? I'm counting 5 monitors. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need one more. We have one empty bracket. Am I right on that?
You're right. I wonder if we'll ever have anything on the monitors.
Yeah. No, we won't. They'll just, now see, the next thing will be, they won't be working. You know, we won't put anything in the monitors for another 6 months.
No.
Okay, Leo, let's go back to it a little bit later to see if there's any progress on the monitor wall. But right now, it's time for the hot dish. Here we go, everybody. Roll it. I love Brad so much. That's my buddy. First up, I actually thought that this was a joke, but it wasn't. Last night, Stephen Colbert announced the winner of People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. But before he did the announcement, he needed to make sure that it was, in fact, the right choice. Look at this.
Amy, please send in my 11 o'clock sexy man.
Hi.
Excuse me, I think you have the wrong room. This is Sexiest Man Alive.
Oh, no, that's what I'm here for.
Confidence. That's sexy. Have a seat. Are you lactose intolerant?
No, but I'm willing to try.
Okay, great. Take a look at these 3 men right here. What do you see that's in common?
Well, they're all kind of casually reclining.
Posture. Can I see you slump? Show me a sexy slump.
Sure thing.
Anyone can make construction worker look sexy, so I gave Paul a real challenge.
You're a monk. Say something sexy. No, you have a valve silence. Don't make any noise. Dance for the Lord.
Seriously, if you need a good laugh today, the whole the whole test is hysterical. There are several other ones, including submerging his head in a bucket of water, and in the end, Stephen revealed the results, and they were shocking. Look at this.
Paul, sorry to keep you waiting. I just got the results back from the lab, and look, there's no easy way to say this. You tested negative for sexy. I'm sorry.
I'm not surprised. It's okay. I get it. Makes sense. I appreciate you just giving me a shot, honestly. And thank you. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing who you pick because I know it's just going to be great. So,
Thanks, Paul.
thank you. Why are you slow clapping? Why are you all slow clapping? Why are you speeding up?
Don't you see, Paul? There's nothing sexier than humility. That was the last test. And you passed, Paul. You passed.
Wait. Do you mean that
You're sexy.
I'm sexy?
Paul, you're the sexiest man alive.
Yes, he is, and with that, he was named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. Hey, humor's funny. Well, do you guys agree that Paul Rudd should be the sexiest man alive? Vote now in our Jason Show Fancy Poll of the Day at fox9.com/poll, no S. Not polls, plural, 1. Tell us if you agree or disagree. Let's go to the Steve Kornacki big board with 76% of precincts reporting. I know, I'm talking precincts reporting. 67% agree and 33% disagree. Executive producer Jeff stepping on my jokes there. Anyway, go vote right now and we'll keep you updated with that and how Brad is doing with the monitor wall. It's going to keep you tuned in all hour. Next in the dish. This is one of those things I thought would come, but I'm still wondering if it's a good idea. Squid Game fans, I have news for you. The uber popular Netflix show will in fact be back for a season 2. The creators of the show said he feels like he has no choice but to make a second season. I don't know if that's a good reason to do it, but okay. There is no script, and they're still early in the planning process. So it could be a George R.R. Martin length of time before we even know when production's gonna start. I don't want this.
Oh, that was strong.
I thought about it. I thought about it for a couple hours.
Okay.
I want it just, it was great the way that it was. I'm afraid we don't need a season 2. We don't.
Okay, may I ask a question for those of us who have not watched it?
Absolutely. This is much your show as it is mine. Go ahead.
Without giving anything away, can they do a season 2 with like the same stuff?
I think, let me cut through you're wondering if everyone's dead.
Yeah, don't they all die?
No.
Oh.
So they can do a season 2.
Oh,
there
okay.
are more squids to be gamed.
Oh.
I don't want it though. It's perfect the way that it is, leave it alone, because season 2 is inevitably going to disappoint us all. Yes. It's like a second date sometimes.
Wasn't he saying that he'd rather make a movie?
I don't want that either.
Okay.
I do want a commercial break, and we're going to do that right now. We'll be back after this. Hope you're hungry. We have more Hot Dish coming up next. Drama and hot tub trouble isn't waiting for the Bachelorette's return trip to Minnesota next week. This week was interesting. Then, name a star, he's met him in the wings. I'm sitting down with the man who helped transform the local theater scene, and he's spilling all the stories in a new book, and he's giving us a preview just ahead. And a plant-based burger so good, you won't know the difference. That and more when we come back.
I don't have a list.
Just
I
Nate.
don't do homework.
I'm just asking a question, dog. Is it just
Okay,
Nate?
your name happened to come out of my mouth.
Is there
dude.
anybody else?
I'm not doing homework on that, dude. I'm not worried about that. Okay.
Dweeb.
Nate was obviously upset that I brought his name up, but I didn't go up there with a plan to single out Nate, but she asked and I told. I came in on my white horse and I saved her from the castle that she's been stuck in.
He says he's gonna be an outcast. I'm not talking about him. What? What a weirdo. What a weirdo. What a dweeb. Screw Chris S. Screw whatever thought process he had that brought him to this point. I think he's a dweeb. And it's just like, man, I'm really hopeful that as the group of guys dwindle down, that there are less and less dweebs in the house, because this sucks.
Okay, the word dweeb hasn't been used that much since the final season of The Facts of Life. As Nate with a Y and Chris go at it on the newest episode of The Bachelorette. Tensions are rising in the house. The men tried their best to stand out and woo Bachelorette Michelle. But was she really buying what they were selling at their dweeb store? It's time once again for 57% of America loves Ted. Joining us from Bachelor headquarters / the Fox 9 control room with many monitors finished is Ted Johnson. Good morning, Ted.
And there's Brad right there.
Oh, where's Brad?
Right there.
Is he right there?
Right there.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, we'll get a check on the monitor wall in a minute. But Ted, the first one-on-one date was with Martin. How did that go?
I'm not really sure how to feel about Martin. They did like this race car date where they, revved up their engines, so to speak. He's got something going on. I'm not really sure. But every time they go on a date, they always try to work in a hot tub. And, and it's like, okay, how are you going to get a hot tub going in this place where you're doing this? Well, they decide to throw a giant tub of water in the middle of a racetrack. I don't think it had any heat. I just think they were sitting in lukewarm water.
This is ridiculous.
It's a trough.
Ted, we could have done that. And you've seen our budget.
Yeah.
We could have put a bucket, we could have went to the Home Depot and put Eric and Brad in that tub out there.
In a kiddie pool.
In a kiddie pool.
Yeah, so, Martin's bro, Jamie, left last week. So she just wanted to make sure that he was on her team. He's basically signaled, I like Jamie. But she kept him around, so I don't know.
Ted, let's do a checklist. So we've had dweeb mentioned more than it's ever been mentioned in primetime television.
Yep.
We have a hot tub in the middle of a parking lot. And now we have a pillow fight?
Pillow fight. They always like the men to kind of wrestle around with each other. And so
I'm not going to say it. Go ahead, Ted.
So you know, always on these group dates, it's a game. How do you steal the Bachelorette away? You know, kind of pull her away so you can get your one-on-one time. Well, the men were so obsessed with each other that they were just like broing out and doing this kind of thing.
Are you kidding me?
And she's like, do they know that this is a date or what's going on here? So yeah, she's not happy.
Ted, let's bro out during our next Jason show before the show on Facebook.
I think that's a good idea. We can punch Leo to see how tough his abs are from curling.
Let's get back to the drama between Chris S. and Nate with a Y. Did I get those names right?
Yes, you did. And so here's the thing. Nate has a better chance at going far in the game than Chris S. does. I don't know who this Chris S. guy is. I don't think he was even here the last 3 or 4 weeks. He shows up at the cocktail party, interrupts Michelle at the very start, and wants to go back to that pillow date, which he wasn't a part of, and call out the guys for not thinking about Michelle. Take a look.
Before we get started, I want to say something. I wasn't at the cocktail party the other night, but I know that she addressed that she felt like she wasn't being seen. I think that there are guys here that think that they have it in the bag. I think that's and I think that they're not showing you that, you know, the effort that you deserve. And I think that you should give time to other people who are here for you, who are showing you the effort that you deserve. And I feel like the guys that think that they have it in the bag, they should either speak up or they should go home.
Who is that guy? After that, did he give them all the best rates for auto insurance?
Yeah. Yes. And all the guys there, I think they're shocked and they're also like, who is this guy? So, yeah, so somehow he managed to get a rose, but obviously this is just a plant. He's not sticking around.
Really quick, the show's coming to Minnesota next week, right?
Big news, they're taking the show on the road, they're bringing it to Minnesota. And coming up next week, I will give you a sneak peek, an exclusive look at one of the locations that they shot at, and it's going to be epic. And we're going to recreate some of the scenes without having seen the scenes.
I love it. Hey, Ted, can we go back, since you're in the control room there, can you ask Director Leo, can we go back and check on the Fox 9 newsroom monitor wall? Look, oh, okay, now this is... Now you're confusing me. This is Engineer Ricky, not to be confused with Engineer Brad. Ted, how's it looking? There's still only 5 monitors up, right?
5 monitors up, but as you'll see, the monitors aren't properly mounted. So they'll have to probably take all 5 monitors down again and then put them back up just so that they can get them properly situated.
Wait, Ted, I don't mean to interrupt you. I see some color bar testing on one of the color. Am I seeing that right?
You are seeing that right. Breaking news.
Ted, if we get any more developments, can you just break into programming for me?
They've taken a break.
Thank you, Ted. Ricky's on a union break, I think. Yes, Kendall?
I have a correction.
Go ahead.
I think all 6 were up.
That's what floor director Tyler said.
I think all 6.
Let's go back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, there are 6 monitors up there.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, there's Brad.
Oh, Brad's back! We've switched. It's like Becky's and Lassie's. We just switch them out. Next in the dish. File these next 2 tidbits in the really file. Some celebs are teaming up with restaurant chains for some stupid crap. First up, Justin Bieber and Canadian coffee and donut chain Tim Hortons are working together. Instead of their iconic Timbit donut holes, they're unveiling Tim Biebs. The 3 flavors are birthday cake, waffle, chocolate white fudge, and sour cream chocolate chip. Sour cream chocolate. I could go for that. I have never heard of Timbits. We had Tim Hortons here for like a day and then they all closed. But it's a Canadian chain. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had Timbits?
Mm-hmm. They're good. I was really impressed that he was juggling them too. That'd be really sticky.
Now I want to eat them and now we don't have them around here.
No, sad day.
Yeah, I think they probably have them in Seattle. Their proximity to Canada.
It's like ours.
I sound like Sarah Palin now, but anyway, Russia, yeah. And of course, Taylor Swift can't be left out. She's got something for her Starbucks lovers. According to the internets, Taylor and Starbucks are teaming up to promote her Red album release. Apparently, the Taylor Latte is on its secret menu on November 10th or 12th. And you need to go up to a Starbucks employee and say, "I would like Taylor's latte." And then what you're going to get is a non-fat caramel latte. So you can either just say, "I would like a non-fat caramel latte," or you can say, "I would like Taylor's latte." And it will come with a label that says, "Taze." We are doomed as a society. I don't get this. I don't get why. I really do mean that why. It's not even a special drink. It's a caramel non-fat latte.
I know, the Biebs thing I get a little more.
I do,
Canadian,
yes.
It's big, he's got different flavors. But we're supposed to secretly whisper that we want the most basic drink on the menu?
You don't have to whisper like I did. That's a little creepy, and security will probably be called on you. But you just have to order with your regular voice. I just don't understand why. Is she getting a cut of this? Is this just, are they doing this so morons like me talk about it on their shows?
You know your Bucks people.
Yeah?
We'll just ask.
Well, I did. They don't even know.
Oh.
They know to do it.
Uh-huh.
But we've fallen into the Taylor Swift trap. Anyway.
Locked.
Next in the dish, cue the cliche. It's the end of an era at NBC News. The one-time face of NBC Nightly News is leaving the Peacock. This broke last night. Brian Williams stepping down as the host of the 11th hour on MSNBC at the end of the month. Listen to this. He's been with NBC for almost 30 years, 28 years. And most of you know he used to be the main anchor at NBC, but got the boot after he stretched the truth a little bit, or fibbed. Brian said he doesn't know exactly what he's going to do next. I know people have opinions about that scandal. Personally, I like his read style. That's what we call it. I like his read style. He injects a little humor, like little sly one-liners in. I like his delivery.
I always liked it too, and he was very comforting in moments, at least for me, just because I grew up with him as kind of the main anchor.
Yeah, you would. Your age, you would. See, I'm Brokaw, Dan Rather, Peter Jennings, Katie Couric. I mean, those were mine. But yeah, he was great. I like Lester Holt now. Lester's really grown on me.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him on Dateline too.
Oh my God, can we talk about Dateline?
No, we have to go.
Okay.
Next in the dish, big news for the Tam fam. Tamron Hall's talk show has been renewed for 2 more seasons. ABC Stations has signed her talk show. Now see, why can't we have promos where I'm walking through a park handing out balloons? Anyway, they signed her talk show through seasons 4 and 5. The show debuted. Okay, maybe I don't want this promo. They have a choir!
It reminds me of one of those, would you like this heart medication commercials?
Well, we do have Yam House. I mean, we didn't get a choir, but we have Yam House. Anyway.
Prilosec OTC.
I want this promo.
No, you don't! It looks like a Prilosec OTC commercial.
Anyway, the show debuted in 2019. That year, she won a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Talk Show Host. My mom loves Tamron. They treated her real dirty at the Today Show.
Ooh, didn't
they? Treated her real bad, and she was very popular. So I'm glad that look, in these talk shows, let me just not be snarky for 2.5 seconds. Any of these shows are hard to do and hard to get past season 2. That's the truth. So the fact that she's going on, bravo to Tamron Hall, really, because it's hard, especially in this fractured media environment. So congratulations. We have a very special guest. I can't wait to talk to him. He is the guy that transformed the theater scene here in the Twin Cities, and he's met everyone, maybe even Tamron. We'll talk to Fred Krohn when we come back. Back in a moment. Don't miss it. Hi, Fred. Welcome back, everyone. I'm excited for this conversation. I think you will enjoy it as well. Our first guest this morning was instrumental to the arts and culture scene in downtown Minneapolis. And in a new book, he details how he's had a hand in nearly every production at the Orpheum State and Pantages Theaters for the last 50 years. I can't believe that because he's only 51. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the author of the book, Standing in the Wings, My Life on and mostly just off stage, Fred Krohn. Hi, Fred.
Good to see you.
Thank you for being here, my friend. Let me start with a compliment. I've never said this to you publicly, but I started at Channel 9. I was in my late 20s, and I was an entertainment reporter. No one really took me seriously for a variety of reasons, and you were always very kind to me, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. You're very nice to me. So, I love this book, and I love it because there are very few people, I think, in your position to have been involved in every theater production of a theater for 50 years. When you were writing this book, were you amazed at yourself?
I had to figure out whether there were enough stories there to make a book, and all of a sudden I said, I think there are.
Who convinced you to do it?
Nobody. COVID.
Really?
Oh, well,
I had time on my hands.
Had a year, yeah.
Yeah. So what was the process like of putting it together? Did you do it by decades, or did you just kind of weed out pick the best ones, or what was it like, the process of writing it?
It was pretty organic. I went through from, when I was 12 years old until I retired in 2018, and I had a file for every show and every Broadway show that I had produced, and so it was pretty easy to
pull the files,
pick out the best ones. And
did you always love theater?
Always. My grandparents took me to New York, and I saw Barbra Streisand in Funny Girl and Hair and all the classic Broadway shows.
And you were hooked.
And I was hooked.
What was it? It was an intentional move on your part and the organization. It was important to you to make Minneapolis a theater destination, wasn't it?
Definitely. I saw a chorus line in New York, and I said, I've got to figure out somehow to get that show to Minneapolis audiences.
Was it hard to convince the producers at first?
The producers were fine. There just wasn't a venue. The Orpheum was in total disrepair, and so I had to convince Joe Papp, and then Joe Papp said, if you fix up the Orpheum to this minimum level, then I will bring Chorus Line into the theater. So looked around for a lot of rich people to put the money in, found Bob Dylan. And that was the turning point of the Orpheum Theater.
And Fred does mean the Bob Dylan, not like the Bob Dylan. This was late 78, so late
Exactly.
70s?
I had gone through every other person I thought that could possibly have enough money.
Your rich person Rolodex?
Yeah, exactly so. My Wayzata phone book. And then finally I said, I know Bob Dylan likes real estate, and sometimes he drives to Hibbing and he buys land that is advertised on the side of the road. So it worked out. I spent 3 hours with him explaining what I was thinking of doing, and he said, if you can persuade Ted Mann to sell it at a reasonable price, I am in. So that's really, if he hadn't jumped in, the Orpheum might have been torn down.
And it sounds to me like, and correct me, that was basically, sounds like a handshake deal. I'm sure there was more to it on the back end, but was it basically a handshake deal between two gentlemen, it sounds like?
Yeah, between Bob and me, and between
That's amazing.
New York Shakespeare Company, Joe Papp. He just said, my word, I'll give you the show.
Okay, so Dylan helped you with the Orpheum, and fill in the blanks here, Donny Osmond helped with the State Theater in a way. Tell us that story.
Well, we fought to save the theater. The developer of the LaSalle project wanted to do a 200-seat recital hall and tear down the State, and I said, can't do that. And so we persuaded the city council. They restored the theater, and all of a sudden I was managing a theater, but I had no shows. Then I got a call from Garth Drabinsky, and he said, I want to see your theater. I have a show I want to put in there. It turned out to be Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with Donny Osmond. And I said, which week would you like? And he said, I want 18 weeks.
And then there we go.
Yeah, bingo. We're on the map.
And now it is unbelievable, and especially if you're watching from wherever, it is hard to imagine downtown Minneapolis. It's inconceivable without the State and the Orpheum. You know what I mean? It's just, I can't, in the Pantages now, I can't imagine the landscape.
No, they're economic development tools. They bring people downtown, and they fill restaurants and hotels, and so they've done just what they were designed to.
We have just a minute or so left in this, and I want to get to I mentioned me coming to myself moving to Minneapolis, and I did that in '97. And Fred, I'll never forget the first night I was in town. I drove down Hennepin Avenue, and I saw the Orpheum marquee, and it had the Lion King there. And the Lion King was a big, big coup because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Disney Theatrical previewed it in Minneapolis.
Yeah, we did the world premiere of Lion King, and there were many other cities that wanted that, and I aggressively fought for it. And we had done Beauty and the Beast, so Disney was familiar with the theater, and the rest is history. It's the most revenue-generating show in Broadway history.
Was it hard to because I had heard I had interviewed Thomas Schumacher, who was involved in head of Disney Theatrical, and he said what cinched it for him was the makeup of our audiences. We had intelligent audiences here. Is that what you heard as well?
Yeah, he said they were intelligent, they were fun-loving, but they were non-judgmental. They didn't think they had to critique every single portion of the show, and it worked perfectly.
It did. It's still going. More with Fred when we come back. Back in a moment. Yeah, that is a memory. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Minneapolis theater legend Fred Krohn. During his long career, Fred has met just about every big name star you could think of. So we thought it would be fun to show him a picture of someone that he's met and find out his first impressions. We kind of already did number one, Fred, but Bob Dylan. I mean, we talked about the story, but when you think of Bob, what floats to the surface for you? What floats to the top as far as his demeanor?
What people don't know, they think he's kind of an eccentric guy. When we talked real estate, he knew more about real estate than I did. He was a very sharp financial mind, which I was very surprised about.
That's interesting. I like that. Number two, one of our favorites, Dolly Parton. Look at you, Fred.
I love that woman.
Look at you. Look at your. Is that a beard and mustache, Fred? Look at that.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Tell me about Dolly. What were your impressions of Dolly?
She was generous and sweet and just as kind as you could. I did about 10 dates with her and rode in her tour bus and ate with her, and what a sweetheart. She's just great.
Oh, aren't we all happy to hear that? That's what we want to hear about Dolly. Number three, let's put this one up, Leo. Andrew Lloyd Webber.
You know, he was here for the opening of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and all I remember is it was sold out in advance, and he said to me, "I think my little show will settle in pretty well here." So,
but he came here. He came here for the opening.
He was at Palomino at our after party, and he was great.
Oh, the Palomino. Anyway, we could talk about that for another hour. Okay, one of my favorites,
oh my God, David
Letterman
with a beard.
Yeah.
Probably the worst mistake I ever made was putting David Letterman in front of Nancy Wilson. It turned out that Nancy Wilson's audience was black and elderly, and David had hip new material that they did not. It went right over their heads, and he was supposed to do a half hour. He came off the stage and said, "Fred, I can't do any more. They don't laugh." And I said, "Have to do a half hour."
So this is this during his stand-up days or when he?
Yeah, this was, nobody ever heard of him at that point.
This is pre-late night.
Oh,
this
pre. Yeah, he was almost unknown. He had a couple of New York shows, and I thought he was funny, and I wanted to get him in, and the only act that wanted an opener was Nancy Wilson. Mistake.
Yeah, just a mix of wow. So that was In Sync. Let's put up In Sync. What do you think of the guys?
Talented. The loudest audience I think I can
really
recall. I was up in one of the suites, and when they came on, and the beams of the theater rattled. It was just,
oh, now I went to this one night with Carol Burnett. I actually think it was at this show. I think I actually saw you that night. Talk to me about Carol.
Carol is one of the most beloved performers in the world, I think. I mean, her audiences would do anything for her, And all she did, she really didn't have much of a show. It was just the audience asked questions and she answered them, but she answered them dead on. She's one sharp lady.
Yeah, for the young folks out there, Carol used to do a thing on the Carol Burnett Show called Bump Up the Lights. She'd bump up the lights and then take questions from the audience. And I remember I was at that show and I thought, oh, that's all this is.
Yeah.
This is all, it's just 2 hours of bumping up the lights. But it was, it was brilliant.
Oh, she was so quick. And she had, it wasn't pre-rehearsed. She was just that sharp.
Icon. I mentioned him before, Donny Osmond. What's Donny like?
You know, we love Donny because he put the State Theater on the map and was really the best PR person for Joseph. He came in and he worked it, and as I say, it was sold out by the time it opened, and he was just a sweet guy.
Yeah. Fred, thank you so much. Good luck with the book.
Thanks.
Everybody get this book. Go to fredkrohn.com for more information. And Standing in the Wings is available wherever books are sold. There's a great cover, too. Go get it right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Back in a moment, friends. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Good to
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hey, to our Seattle friends, Yam House right there will be playing the Showbox November 17th in Seattle. Make sure you get your tickets. They are fantastic. We love those guys. Again, the Showbox in Seattle. Welcome back. It's a classic burger joint with a twist. Francis Burgers in Minneapolis is known for their fantastic burgers, but the meat is entirely plant-based. As you guys know, it's a trend all over the place in the restaurant industry. Kendall visited the food truck to take a bite.
We're talking a little bit off camera about this. The name, Francis, because none of you involved actually are named Francis.
Francis was a pig that escaped a slaughterhouse. Red Deer, Canada, 1990. He became kind of a folk hero in town. He was on the news a bunch, and school kids were writing to the government saying, you know, spare Francis.
Save Francis.
Yeah, save Francis. So that's where the name comes from.
You guys come from a background of being in the industry, but you were bartenders, you were front of house. What made you go, we should open a burger place, but let's make it vegan?
You know, the central thing that we wanted to do was something plant-based, both for animals and for the environment and for a number of reasons.
Do you think people who are not used to plant-based food could eat this and be like?
We had a family of like 8 the other night order. I think youngest were in their low 50s, I went over and said, you know, how'd you enjoy everything? And they said it was amazing. And they said, this is my 96-year-old dad, and he's never had a plant burger in his entire life, and he's raving about it. So yeah, so that was kind of what we wanted to do, is to make sure that if your family comes and you've got maybe one vegan in the family, or not even at all, but everybody can still enjoy it, and really inclusive food.
Will this be open all winter? Is this something that's just kind of when it's nice out?
No, that's the plan. It's gonna be an adventure, and we're gonna make it work. Sociable has a lot of great programming in the winter. They do curling, and they have campfires out here all throughout the winter.
Did you hear that, Leo? Curling. So, I have to admit something to you. I really am kind of obsessed with any sort of a plant-based burger. I don't really eat burgers, but when I transitioned from not eating burgers to eating plant-based, I did it because plant-based burgers were so good.
Yeah.
So I have very high expectations.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And now I'm going to eat your food.
Please do. Yeah.
Tell me, what do we have here?
So we have our signature burger, the Francis burger with cheese. It's got Francie sauce.
Fancy sauce? Like fancy sauce?
But
with
fancier. It's kind of like Thousand Island dressing, but pickles, onions, tomato, and then the cheese is optional. These are kind of a special that we're running right now, buffalo fries, and they come with either ranch or blue cheese, which
and
is
like
kind of rare.
Ranch and blue cheese. Like all this is, I mean, I'm saying it.
It's
and I'm
real,
like,
it's just dairy-free.
it's so cool. Okay, can I eat now, Eric?
You can eat.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Actually, you can't have to film the sauces.
Stop it. You're not filming the sauces. Are you kidding me? You're filming the sauces? actually hate when you do this to me. It's horrible. Okay. So, I am always honest.
And I actually am not yeah, that is the princess.
Oh yeah, look at that sauce. Holy crap, that's delicious. I would never know this is plant-based, honest to God.
That's what we hear a lot.
Holy macaroni. Mmm. Wow.
You have a little sauce in your hair.
I have sauce in my hair. Thanks, Cindy. Girls got my back. With that, we need to go, Eric. There's sauce in my hair.
She's classy, everyone.
It was windy.
Yeah. Now you are a flexitarian or whatever. What did you say you were?
A flexitarian.
A flexitarian.
Yes.
So even as a flexitarian self,
Yes.
you enjoyed this.
They're delicious. I mean, it's a huge thing. Just we were talking about
huge.
that across the country. So to go somewhere and, for example, my dad, who eats a lot of meat, come with me and have a really good burger. I think that's a really nice deal for everybody.
And Dad, the carnivore, loved it?
I have now officially fed him a couple of different substitutes, and burgers is one that he can deal with.
There we go. Here in Minnesota, you can visit Francis Burgers outside of Sociable Cider Works. I almost said fireworks. For more information, head to francisthevegan.com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Almost said fireworks. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, let's check our fancy Steve Kornacki poll of the day. Do you agree with Paul Rudd as the sexiest man of the year alive? 83% said yes, 17% said no. Okay. We're also going to check in on the monitor wall, too, to see if there's any progress. But right now, it's time for the world's shortest segment. A new flavor of vodka for fans of French fries. Something I just never thought I would say. Minnesota-based distillery Tattersall teamed up with Arby's to create French fry flavored vodka. One tastes like Arby's curly fries and the other like Arby's crinkle cut fries. It'll be released next week in limited quantities at arbysvodka.com.
Yummy.
No comment. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. I love Tattersall, so I'm going to stay silent. Oh my goodness. We got to give executive producer Jeff time out. Okay, let's go back to our secret newsroom camera. Leo, go ahead. Let's see. No way!
Stop!
Are they actually? And look at Tom Butler. Look at Tom Butler, Fox 9 News. Look at Brad waving. Hi, buddy. Look at Tom. Tom Butler's in the next studio. I love you, Tommy. I love you, buddy. Oh, Tommy, wave to Seattle. Wave to your hometown and your Washington. There we go. Nobody's better than the Tommy Butler right there. And look at Ricky shaking his head. Don't you shake your head at me. Oh, but look at those beautiful monitors. That is substantial.
Oh, there goes Sammy.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
It's time for the surprise. Goodbye, Kendall. Let's do this. That wasn't enough? What more do you want? This is the first time we're seeing what's in this segment today, a milestone. 20 years ago today, Apple released the first ever iPod with this commercial. I remember that. On this day 20 years ago, it sold for $399, promoting room for 1,000 songs. Today, Apple only sells the iPod Touch, since most of us use our iPhones or Android for music. Tomorrow on the show, Kendall and Ted go to the Museum of Failure.
What?
Isn't the Museum of Failure this show?
We were very at home.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. If you're a kid watching that's being bullied, You go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Come on, Kendall. Let's go get some curly fry vodka.